All right, welcome back to Seek More Outdoors. Today we're going to be looking at the Ruger American in 350 Legend. I went out a few days ago and was shooting this rifle at some longer ranges. I think I shot it at 100, 200, and 300 on a 12-inch steel AR 500 plate, and I didn't realize it at the time until after a couple of shots, but as you can see, the scope has moved forward, and now I was zoomed in on 16 power, and it's up against the rail, so now I can't move it. So we're gonna fix that, and then we're gonna do a 50-yard zero, and if we have time, I'd like to get it zeroed at 100 yards. That's typically what I sight all my guns in at. So let's get started on it here. All right, that gives us plenty of room there, as you can see, right in here. So we're gonna torque these rings back down to 18 inch-pounds. I thought that I'd torqued them before, but maybe I didn't. Either way, it definitely moved forward on us. I do have the wheeler. This is the leveling kit. I'm not going to worry about leveling it up right now. I'm just going to get it eyeballed in there where I think it needs to be. Get it torqued back down, and we'll do the 50-yard zero and make sure that scope don't try to move again. If it does, we may have to get a little better ring or something on it. It's kind of odd because this gun doesn't really have that much recoil. And these are Leopold rifleman rings at a medium height, I believe is what they are, 1 inch. So I actually have these rings on several other rifles. I've never had any issue out of them, so that's what kind of leads me to believe that this was probably me that thought I torqued it and didn't. Get these snugged up. Double check here, make sure it didn't move. It looks pretty good. Gap on the rings. You can see these gaps in between where the rings come together. I like for those to be pretty even on all four sides there. That way it's not over torquing one side or the other. Some people don't care. I'm kind of picky about it. I like them to be pretty even. Alright, so we got our torque wrench here. This is the Vortex torque wrench. Does 10 to 50 inch-pounds. We've got it set at 18 inch-pounds. That's where we're going to start with anyway. Let's double check, make sure we didn't move anything. That looks pretty good. Alright, so we've got the scope moved back where we need it. We got the rings torqued at 18 inch-pounds. Most places are going to recommend a 18 to 20 inch-pounds, I think, at least on a 1 inch to a 30 millimeter tube. I know that's what Vortex recommends, and as y'all know, I run a lot of Vortex scopes. Probably, in my opinion, it's the best out there for the money. There's probably better scopes, but they're going to cost you a lot more money too. I'm going to get all this here cleaned up, and we're going to start taking a couple shots here at 50 yards. Just sliding the scope straight back. I don't expect the zero to be too far off. Normally they're not. But we're going to be shooting Winchester Deer Season XP 150 grain and Deer Season, no, not Deer Season, Winchester Super X, the Power Points 180 grain. But let me get all this here cleaned up and put the tools and stuff away, and then we'll take some shots at 50 yards. And all right guys, before we start shooting here, I'm gonna give this barrel a quick clean. Let me get this mess here cleaned up, and this time we'll actually start shooting. Alright, so we're ready to start shooting here at 50 yards. I'm hoping that we got time we do some 100 yard shooting, but the first shots we're going to take here is going to be the Winchester Super X. These are the Power Point 180 grains. I think we've got 4 shots in there, so we'll take one shot just in the dirt, kind of a fouling shot, and then we'll see what it does down there at 50 yards. I think it's still going to be pretty close, should be, so we'll take the shots and see what it looks like. Alright, this first shot's just going to be the fouling shot. It's not too bad. And again, I forgot my ears. Let me grab those real quick. Alright, now we're going to shoot a 3-shot group down there and see how it does. Those look pretty decent. Shooting a little high at 50, so that should be about what we want it to do. So I don't think we're going to do the 150 grain XPs at 50 yards. I'm going to get everything situated here, and we're going to back up to 100 yards. And I think it's still going to be pretty well sighted in for what we're trying to do. Last time I shot this gun at 100 yards, there's a video up. I'll post it or link it in the description or something. But it was shooting pretty much one hole at 100 yards with the Deer Season XPs, and pretty well clover leafing them with the 180s at 100 yards. But we get everything situated and we'll move back to 100 yards and see how it does. All right, we got everything set up back here at 100. I'm gonna take a fouling shot with the XP 150s and then shoot a 3-shot group. Almost forgot my ears again. All right, so I forgot my ears back at the other shooting table, so let me run and get them and I'll be back. All right, I got my ears now, so now let's do this fouling shot, then we'll get on with our group. All right, now we're going to shoot our 3-shot group here and see what it looks like. All right, that looks like a pretty good group from here. I would say it's probably a 1/2 inch, just, you know, looking through the scope. Yeah, looking at it on here, I'd say that's real close to a 1/2 inch group. But we'll take a closer look at it when we're done here. The next one here is going to be a 3-shot group out of the Ruger American Ranch using the Winchester Super X 180 grain. I pulled that last one pretty good, but I think we're pretty well zeroed for 100 yards. I didn't make any adjustments from the 50-yard shooting that we were doing earlier to the 100 yards. The 150s look like they're hitting somewhere around a 1/4 to 1/2 inch above the bullseye, which is fine. The 180s, they're hitting pretty much on bullseye, so I think that's going to work out just fine. Hoping to get to go on a hog hunt in January. We're going to take this and most likely take my bow. So I think this is going to do it for this video. So if you would, subscribe, like the video, and we'll catch you on the next one.